Today is the 1st of May. I can't believe it. One of my favourite days of the year. And it's funny actually, although I'm in this beautiful place, I just want to be at home today really. But seeing as I am here in this other beautiful place, it's a good time for a walk in the woods again, and to find some nettles this time. Now, I'm not exactly short of nettles at home, but stingy nettles are such a distinctive and abundant plant. They're a reliable snack wherever you are in the world. On a hill
near a wood,
where nobody goes,
up a track,
through a gate,
The food forest grows with secrets and treasures for everyone's pleasure and Rob's discovery.
Nettles are so ubiquitous and easy to identify. You seldom have to go a few steps before you find them. I'm sure I saw some just here yesterday. Yep, they're the first lot. They're a little bit too low and close to where dogs walk for my liking. I'll go a little further. Nettles have myriad medicinal uses and countless culinary ones. Plus the coarse fibres of their stalks can be used for cloth making and dyeing. Whilst planning the garden, I use nettles as an indicator of fertile soil. They're also a dynamic accumulator, meaning that they take up many minerals via their roots, including nitrogen, silicon and iron. When cut down, the foliage can then be either added to compost or rotted down in rainwater to make a nutrient-rich liquid fertilizer. Nettles are a wonderful wildlife habitat too. Aha! I went off wandering in the woods up that way looking for them, and here they were, all along, right behind my encampment. Now, nettles really are the perfect permaculture plant. Nettles, Urtica dioica, are probably the best known wild plant growing in the UK, mainly because of the unpleasant sting that we all learned to avoid as children. Many people dismiss the common nettle as a weed, going to the extremes to try and get rid of it from their gardens. Yet, it is in fact one of the most useful and multifunctional plants I can think of. Back home in the forest garden, I allow nettles to grow near anything with a sweet sap that's loved by aphids, like my precious rhubarb for example, or my Rosa rugosa, because nettles, they harbour ladybirds that love to feed on those sweet, sweet aphids. Perfect. Now, I'm going to pick a few of these tender specimens. Normally I use scissors to snip them off. I've bought some very important gloves as well. It can be done without them, but I don't want to take the chance this time. You need quite a few nettles to do anything worthwhile with, but these few handfuls of tender tips ought to be just enough to whip up a batch of soup for my lunch. A bit too small in the horsebox to record what I'm doing, so in this makeshift outdoor kitchen I'm going to create some nettle soup. There's everything I need here in the order I'll need it. It's quite simple. There's some olive oil and then the pre-rinsed nettle tips and the leftover sea beet from yesterday. There are some forest garden potatoes, Also 6 shallots from the forest garden, a stock cube from a supermarket, and also, instead of any herbs and spices, I thought I'd use the cheating method of a teaspoon of Marmite, or yeast extract to you foreigners. I'm just waiting for this water to boil so I can make the stock, because as I only have one gas ring, I've got to boil the water first before I can put the saucepan on. Now, in my hurry to get away yesterday morning, I forgot to pack my soup blender, so I've got to chop everything really small so that there are no bits in the soup. Not that that's a bad thing, but that's the way I like it. So, chop chop. Although these shallots aren't as big as onions, they've got a beautiful flavour. Goosegrass, topped up with spring water, then left overnight, will make a mouth-watering melony concoction for clearing the kidneys tomorrow. While that soup simmers, I can relax and think about getting away from the digitalisation of life. Although, ironically, I'm recording this on my mobile telephone, so not quite. At least it's on flight mode. Now to try this goosegrass infusion. Oh, it's not on flight mode. Oops. Hang on. Now to try this cleansing infusion. Cheers. Oh yeah, it tastes nothing how you imagine it would, although I don't know how you'd imagine it would taste. It is surprisingly melony, quite a weak melony flavour, but melony nonetheless. It's like watermelon juice. It doesn't have a particularly strong flavour, although I'm just craving more and more of it. It's a moreish flavour without, it's more like a feeling. Yes, I must need it because I feel that I want to just drink it down, and if it wasn't so cold I probably would in one go. It's making my brain freeze a bit. I'm just going to be bursting with liquid after this and that soup. How's it coming along all the way? My little camping stove ran out of gas, so I've lit the wood burner, as it's going to be a chilly night again tonight, and I finished it off on here. That certainly smells ready to me. Let's give it a go. Oh, an extra one for good measure. The obligatory bread and butter and cheese. always do that. I surprised myself. That is bloomin' delicious. It could do with a tiny bit less Marmite. I thought that as I was stirring it in, that that's the amount that I will put in for a huge pot of soup. But apart from its Marmitey aftertaste, I can taste the nettles, I can taste the sea beet and the onion and potatoes. I think I'll be going back for more. Cheers! The taste of the woods and the sea. He says with his eyes streaming because it's so hot. I am an experienced soup eater, really. I should have known to dip the bread in first. I wanted to try it so that you could taste it too. Would you like some? Oh, sorry.